All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday night Team Passion call. It is October 10th. This year is flying by. We're in the last quarter. Very exciting stuff happening. I know a lot of you have some pretty amazing goals to accomplish this last quarter. I shared with you last week that this last quarter work that you put in sets you up for what 2017 is going to look like. So you want to put in all the work now. You don't want to say, well, those are my goals by summit, so I'll just start in January. You want to start now. You want to set the tone now, get the stage ready, and just make sure that you are doing everything you can to work towards your goals now. Like pretend that, it's your goal in the next 30 days or 60 days, not 6 months. So yeah, so I'm going to encourage you to make sure you're doing that and not procrastinating. If you're a big procrastinator, you need to work on that. So books like Eat That Frog will help you kind of overcome all that. Any books by Brian Tracy, he's big on time management and goal setting. So, make sure that you're listening to him and you're listening to Darren Hardy and you're following along with all these entrepreneurs out there because they're going to tell you the same thing. This quarter is huge. It's huge, huge, huge for your business. So, and it's one of the it's the hardest quarters because we get distracted by holidays and all of that stuff. So you have to really be focused. I posted in our personally sponsored coach page today about focused time. And I kind of gave us a scenario of, if you focus 1 hour a day on your business, aside from your workouts and your personal development, but you take one focused hour. Now, again, it doesn't have to be at once, but if you can take one focused hour every single day, focused means TV off, like locked in a room somewhere, kids can't get to you, dogs can't get to you, spouses can't get to you. 1 hour every day where you do your invites, you follow up, you relationship build, like so focused that you leave that hour and you're like, I rock. Like you should feel so accomplished by having that one focused hour every day. And by doing that 7 days a week, you're going to hit Success Club consistently, no problem. If you up that to 2 focused hours a day, you're going to hit Success Club 10 or more. If you up that to 3 or 4 focused hours a day, that's where you're starting to build the foundation for a 6-figure income and to become a 2 to 5 star or more leader on this team. So think about that. And, if you're already working like 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a day on your business, but it doesn't feel like it, then you're not focusing. So I know for me, when I'm focused, I all of a sudden look down at my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, 2.5 hours just went by. Like that's how I know I am in the zone and I am doing so much work. Before the girls were in school, last year was the first year that the girls were both in school full time. So we work 9 to 2 now every day, and it's not completely focused, we're distracted, but I can get a good chunk of 2 hours in there where I'm focused. But before that, it had to be like at nighttime. Mark would go up to bed. He would put the girls up to bed about 8:30, and I would just stay downstairs till 10:30, 11 o'clock and just work, so focused. And that's how I built this business to 5-star and 6 figures without, with the kids being around all day. So I know moms, your kids are around all day, you're super distracted, there's no focused hour during that time. So you've got to make up for it while they're sleeping. So, all right, I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys as we start tonight. So I asked Cheryl O'Malley to share with us tonight. I know a lot of you want to get your like pages up and running. And I did a like page training that's on this YouTube channel, the Team Passion one. And I told you basically not to do a like page because it requires you. Facebook has changed so much in the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years that you have to really, like, to hit the numbers that, you know, that some of us hit, like 20, 30, 40 Success Club points a month. The way we hit those is by using Facebook ads. And so for me, I spend close to $100 a day on Facebook ads. So chances are you don't have that laying around, right, yet in your business. So I don't recommend that you focus on your Facebook page because you have to spend a lot of money. I used to tell, like 2 years ago, I was teaching people how to use their Facebook page, and I was like, oh, just do $10 a day. It's not like that anymore. $10 a day gets you nothing. And especially if, because of what we do, we compete with so many people out there, that it's crazy. So what I've asked Cheryl to do tonight is not share ads. She's doing Facebook ads, so she may touch upon that, but she's not spending what I'm spending. But what I love about Cheryl is, and she'll share a little bit of her story, is, you know, she kept saying to me, I don't have a lot of people on my Facebook personal page that I want to do business with. I'm a different person. I've outgrown them. I need to find people somewhere else. So she was insistent on using her like page. So she herself went out and found some trainings and figured out ways to do this on her own with spending minimal money. So that is why I've asked Cheryl to share with you guys how to use your like page, how to get it up and running, and ways to use it without spending crazy money. So Cheryl, take it away.
Hello, everyone. So I'm still tweaking and always learning about the like page. So I'm just going to start from the beginning in case any coaches haven't set up a like page yet. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm just going to kind of tell you the basics. But basically, when I started a like page, I Googled it. I figured out how to do it myself. YouTube has videos, and Google. And it literally takes you step by step on how to set the page up. So I mean, first, you know, you log into Facebook and you go into your settings and it says create a page. So you create a page, and most of the time you're going to be doing a like a public figure. It'll ask you like the brand, who you branding. Usually I put public figure. I see some people put coach down. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but I feel like public figure is the way to go. And then you have to choose a name. Now, personally, I chose what I use as my Beachbody name just so people can relate and know, okay, this is Cheryl O'Malley, Cheryl O'Malley. I don't want to have all these pages going with different names. It's up to you. Some people have like fitness and health in their brand name. It's really on you, on who you are as a person. Me, I put my name down, so it's just Cheryl L. O'Malley. Again, don't overthink it too much. Just choose a name. I think one of the most important things, though, when you're setting up your page is your cover photo and your banner. You want it to be attractive. If you are able to, get professional pictures done, because when people look, they definitely want to see your face. You know, they want to look into your eyes. They want to see your face. And I just feel like professional pictures are the way to go. For the banner itself, I actually had a professional do my banner because I did my own banner at first, and it kind of looked all jumbled, like it wasn't professional. Like you could tell that I kind of just like, you know, put pictures here and there, and it just was all over the place. And at the time, you could only have so much text on the banner as well. I think it was like 20%. So I actually had this place called Fiverr, Fiverr. They did it for like $20. You give them some pictures, you kind of tell them basically what you want, and they'll play around with it, and they'll give you samples, and then you can review it, and then you can tell them, no, I want you to tweak this, do this, you know, color, font. I mean, you really want to get like serious and detailed about it. So I had Fiverr do mine, and again, it was like $20. I think that's well worth the money to have it look, you know, professional. But anyways, like if you don't have that, and if you don't want to do that now, some people use like PicMonkey or Canva. to do that. And I think that's what I started off. I think I used Canva to first set up my page. And then I ended up taking a training, Jesse Regan's training, and it gave us options on who to contact if we wanted to have it look a little more professional, which I'm so happy with the way it came out. So again, Fiverr, Fiverr, they were really great, and it's fairly cheap. Unless you know somebody who can do it, then have them do it. But again, you definitely want to have it look professional. And then after you do that, you want to put your bio in about you, who you are as a person. Because when they click on it, they'll read about you and see, obviously, if you're going to connect with that person. So put in a good detailed bio about you. Don't just put, entrepreneur coach. You want to put, a little bit about who you are and really about what your page is going to be like. So basically how to use your like page. You'd always still want to focus on your personal page. You still want to keep on adding, people to your personal page every day. And I do that, but I also balance it out now with my like page too. So you'll hear me reference a little bit about my personal page, in regards to my like page, because it is a little bit different content, what I'll put into my like page than I'll put into my personal page. First I want to say you have to be patient. Like you heard Nicole say it took her like 18 months to get things up and running and really get it going. So you have to be patient. You have to put in the time and you have to put in the hard work. You don't want to spend a lot of time on your like page. Because this is kind of like overtime after you've done your, vital behaviors. You want to be able to, put in some time, but you have to remember to be patient because there's going to be a lot of tweaking. You'll figure out what works, what doesn't work, what's reaching people and what isn't. So just be patient because I know in the beginning I would make posts and I'd have like absolutely no likes on it whatsoever, no comments, no engagement, nothing. And I'm like, okay. And the reach was very poor. Like sometimes it would reach like maybe 20 people. I'm like, oh gosh, only 20 people saw this pretty much. I'm like, eee. So it's going to take time to tweak it and stuff, and you'll figure it out. You want to be posting like 3 to 5 times a day, kind of like with your personal page. You can actually post more on your like page because it kind of works a little bit differently than your personal page. We talk about how you maybe should post in the morning, like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then maybe around noontime, and then 9 p.m. Your like page kind of varies. Sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason, honestly, especially if you have people like who are liking your page and they're from the West Coast. It's just a matter of kind of posting it maybe 5 to 6, 7 times a day, and you'll figure out kind of what works and what times work. But like I said, that can vary. So I try to post at least 3, 4, or 5 times a day. Sometimes if I have something that comes up in my mind, I'll just post it anyway. So don't worry about over posting on your like page rather than like your personal page. You really don't want to go more than 3 to 5 times a day. When you post, on your like page, you really want to think about what you're posting. Like who are you? Like that's what you really need to start thinking about is who are you? Who is your audience? Who are you actually going to be talking to? Because that's who you have to think about is you are branding yourself. In fact, is when doing your pictures for your cover photo, please don't do anything Beachbody. I just don't recommend it. Because you're not, branding Beachbody. You're not selling Beachbody. You're selling yourself. You're branding yourself. So when you do those pitches, I recommend that you don't use Beachbody, or Shakeology or anything like that whatsoever, because you're branding yourself. You're your own company, and people are liking you for you, not for Beachbody. So I just wanted to state that, when you're doing your pictures and your cover photo and stuff. So when you are, going to put a post in, do a post, you're trying to provide value. People are coming to you because they want to learn something. They want to, hear valuable content. So for like me, I'm a mom. And so a lot of my posts always relate to being a mom and working out with my children and, trying to make healthy meals for our whole family. And, my market is, other moms, and I want moms to be able to relate to me. So if you're not a mom, maybe you're, a dog lover, or you're like nutrition is your thing, or working out is your thing. Kind of find, what is your passion, not just Beachbody, but what do you get excited about? What can you really talk about? So you really need to think about that before you make your post. I mean, I'm not huge on like the nutrition side of things, but I'll still post, a recipe or something. Like if I found something that really worked, and I loved, I'll post it. I'm not a chef or anything like that. I'm not a cook, but I never pretend to be. So I'm always honest about people and say, yeah, I found this. I have not made it, but it looks good. Like I'm just honest about my posts. But my thing is working out and being a mom and trying to, figure things out. So you really definitely want to think about who you're talking to and, what you're passionate about. When a big thing is you can always post, just words, but Facebook loves like pictures or videos. You're going to reach more people when you post pictures and videos. So when you're doing, pictures, get creative, use like Instagram and their filters, do something like in black and white. You don't have to overthink it and spend too much time on it, but get a little more creative with your shots, like your angles. It just makes things a little more interesting, so you can do that. I think PicMonkey, Photo Grid, like that, those kind of things, put in a little bit of a text, but always make sure that you can kind of see your face though too. You don't want to put text over your face or anything like that. People don't like that. They want to see you. So, do that. And when you post a picture, talk about it, So if it was like me doing a yoga move, which I am not a yoga person whatsoever, I will talk about that. I'll say, you know what, yoga is not my thing, but this is me, or if I'm like falling down or something, I'll post it, because I also like to be funny too, because that's my personality. So post something like that, talk about the picture itself and what it means to you. And when you do a post, put a question at the end, because you want to get engagement. You want people to comment. People love to talk about themselves. So, I might, say, I had a picture the other day about me posting about peanut butter. And I said, who wants to join a support group with me? What is your, downfall or your snack? And people love to start talking about that and getting people engaged. And that's what you want. You want engagement on your page. Videos, I think, reach the most people. So I do my workout video every day. And I would do my workout videos before, but I didn't have like a lot of reach. I mean, it was better than my pictures and my regular posts. So, but all of a sudden I started using my kids in the videos, and it's like blowing up. And now I have what's called the O'Malley Show, because it just started working. And I do my workouts with my kids in the videos, and it's like, it's just blowing up. I mean, the engagement, the views I'm getting, one day I think it was like 5,000 views, and I've never had that many on a video before. It was like crazy. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. And then I had a video and a post I made just about me getting a nasty message from somebody about me posting my videos. And I put that down, and, I wrote the post and I put a video in, and I got a ton of engagement on it. I think I ended up getting like 50 or 60 comments or something like that. And so, so that was awesome. I felt so good. So when you do, and this is a good point that I'll bring up now, is when you get those comments or any comment on your post, reply. Always reply to them. Respond to every single comment. Even if it's a friend or another coach, always reply on the comment, because the more engagement on your posts, the more it's going to go on top of everybody's news feeds. So you want to get the most engagement possible. So I reply to everybody. And plus, not only replying to people, and especially people you don't know, you can kind of start forming with them and asking them questions. Say, oh gosh, do you have kids? You know, how old are your kids? And you start to build a relationship slowly. And if it's starting to work out that we're, you know, chit-chatting a lot within a thread, I'll just private message them and say, oh, I figured, you know, I just private message you and we can continue this conversation.
Can I stop you there, Cheryl?
Yes.
Let me just stop you there because Jacqueline had a question about messaging people.
Okay.
On your like page. So this segues into how you can message people from your like page. So she was saying, you know, if someone likes my page, should I go and send them a message? And I said no, because they're not going to get it. So
Right.
if they're commenting on your posts, there is a button that says message, and then they will get the message from your like page.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because I've messaged people before who just like something and it goes into that dark hole.
Yeah, and they don't know how to find it.
They don't get it.
Yeah, nobody knows how to find it. The other thing, while we're on this topic, I want to bring up. So one of the things I talked to Cheryl about a lot was, and I talked to the whole team about this. Everybody's trying to find their brand or their niche or their whatever it's going to be. And one of the things when I started this business 6 years ago, I remember Keith saying there was a couple that did this business, and every day people tuned in to their Facebook page to see what flavor coffee they were going to drink. So it had nothing to do with their Beachbody business, but they wanted to know what flavored coffee they were going to drink. And I remember when Cheryl started talking about her kids and they don't sleep, and you know, so every day I tuned in to find out if Cheryl slept. And now she's turned, you know, the O'Malley Show is amazing. So she went from Do I Sleep to now the O'Malley Show. And so every day, you know, I like at the end of the day, literally I'm like, oh my God, I missed the video today. So I'll make sure I go and I find it. So it, like Cheryl said in the beginning, with your patience, this may, like, you know, some of you are probably sitting there, well, I don't have kids to do this with, or how do I figure out what my O'Malley Show is? And but it's gonna take you time. Cheryl's been doing this for over 2 years. The O'Malley Show just happened a couple, you know, weeks ago, right? Or 2 months ago. So it's not, you know, and her kid, like, she doesn't stage it. It's like one of my favorite videos is Sean Patrick just like coming across in the street. Like she doesn't make this stuff up, like her just do crazy things in these videos. But whatever that's going to be for you, be patient in finding it, because you're going to find it. And there's going to be something that people come to your page to see every day, and they're going to actually wonder where it is when you miss it. So I just want to kind of bring that up. Whatever your coffee flavor of the day is going to be, or whatever your story is going to be, please be patient and please play around with different things and see what people respond to. So,
right. Exactly. And it does. It takes time, because like I said, even now, like I'll post a picture and it had like hardly any reach, and I was like, man, that was a good post I did, you know. But you can't, you know, look at that too deeply. Like, don't get too attached to your posts, because some things work and just some things don't. You just never know, really, honestly. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, but I know another thing that actually works, has been working for me, was get engagement, is actually sharing other videos. So, you know, I shared one with a dog. I found this video of a dog licking this shake, and it just reminded me of like, oh, that's how I drink my Shakeology, you know. And I shared it to my like page, and like so many people loved it, you know. So if you find videos, or even like Tasty, I don't know if you like that page, but I'll share like something like that and it will blow up. It's just so crazy what can happen. But when you share that and, you know, people are starting to like, you know, you're getting organic likes, which means free likes. So you're not having to pay, you know, put an ad in to, you know, get likes for your page. So when you get all these new likes, it's called an organic like, and that means free. And the other thing to add too is, when you get these likes on your posts, click on it and see, and I don't think it works on a phone. I think you will have to do it from a computer. But when you click on all the people that liked your post, it will say invite next to it. So these people liked your post because they just saw it. Somebody maybe that might have liked my page saw them like my post, or it was in their newsfeed. So they necessarily doesn't mean that they actually are like your page. So go in there and click like. Those are free organic likes that you're getting. Like them to, add them to your like page. So I'll do that a lot. And that obviously, I think I ended up getting like one day when I had like 50 likes, I invited at least 30 of them, and I got like 30 likes in one day added to my like page. So, those are free, free organic likes. That's what you want to do. That's why it's so important to get the engagement so you can bring people over to your like page. Another post that, you definitely want to do, and we do it on our personal page, is tell your story. I always say, pretend like you're talking to a friend at a coffee shop and you're telling a story about you. Talk it out loud before you post it, and tell bits and pieces of who you are, because you have to be real. You got to show your struggle, and people need to get to know you, especially if you're trying to attract your lifers. You want these like-minded people, so they need to understand who you are. Yeah, I'm crazy, and I'm a mom, and I have kids, but I also have a story, and I also had struggles and a journey. So what I usually do is, when I'm making kind of like a good post, or what I think might be a good post, is I kind of put a headline in to attract their attention. Yes, I usually have a picture or a video, but I also put, a great headline in. So I might say something like, do you struggle with self-control? And people are like, ooh, I need to read about this because I do struggle with that. So I try to get something that's going to catch their eye immediately instead of just starting off with a story. So I find that's working for me too. So I'll do that. And then what I'll usually do is I'll talk about my struggle. I'll talk about the journey. And then I talk about how I overcame it. And then I may ask a question at the end, how would you overcome this? Or how did you deal with this? Or have you been, have you gone through this, like I have? I try to always ask a question because I want people obviously to engage. And the more comments, the more people that's going to see it. I feel like 90% of my posts are non-Beachbody related. I probably only put something about Beachbody maybe twice a week. Honestly, out of all those posts, I hardly really ever put anything about Beachbody, because for me, my like page is about building relationships and forming and getting people to know me. And then, we can ease in Beachbody at some point, but I am not selling anything. I'm just branding myself. I'm having people get to know me. So I always talk about just me and a lot of me. Another tip I found is, if a post, was really good, you got a ton of engagement on it, I will reuse that post. I may do it probably about 2 months out or so, a month to two, because by that time you got new people liking your page, so it's going to be new to them. I may tweak the post slightly just to add something to it, but I'll reuse it. I have a couple of workout videos that I've done amazing. I did a paper plate one, and I got a ton of engagement on it. And so I'm like, well, hey, I'm going to reuse it again. And I got a ton of engagement on it again with new people liking it. So again, I invited them to my like page. So it's okay to reuse it, but maybe a month or two out, reuse it again. I always, and I learned this in the training that I took from Jesse Regan, was I always like my own posts. Sometimes it's a weird thing. People may not want to be the first person to like a post. So I'll like it, and then Sean, my husband, will like it. And the more people that like it, the more that Facebook will show it and say, wow, this is a good post. People liking it. I'm going to show it more often. So it's okay to actually like your own post. I know some people are weird about that. And I see that a lot on like the personal page. They like their own post. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Why would I like my own post? But I do it on my like page because it starts to get more engagement and Facebook will show it even more. I share my posts too on my personal page. Usually I only do my videos. I'll share my videos on my personal page. I'll share it in a challenge group. Again, even by sharing it, it's going to start, Facebook will start showing it even more. So I don't always post the same things on my personal page or my like page. Like I said, I usually just share my workout videos from my like page to my personal page and then into other groups as well. Again, it will just have Facebook show it more and more and more. Me personally, I try to almost separate a lot of it from my personal page to my like page. I don't like making the same exact post. Sometimes you may put a quote or something or a picture of the same, but I would put different content within that post. And for me, I know people are weird. You know, they want to be private, maybe if you have kids or something. But honestly, if I'm trying to brand myself as, you know, a mom and, you know, living a healthy lifestyle with kids, I'm going to include my children because that's, you know, that's so important. How am I going to talk about being a mom if I'm not going to include my children? So if, you know, you don't want to have your kids or whatever in it, then you might need to go into a different direction on what you know, what your brand and who you are, because you really need to include your life. People really need to get to know you personally. And, you know, and I try, and I mentioned about not really showing a lot of Beachbody posts. Now, don't get me wrong. If I have like a challenge group coming up, I definitely will throw a post in there about it. If I'm having an event, I will, you know, do events on Facebook. You know, once in a great while, again, I'll do Shakeology, you know, but I don't, like I said, 90% of the time I'm doing non-BB related stuff. So, and I don't, and like Nicole said, I'm not going to get into the whole ads thing, but I did take a training and, you know, I did do what's called like split testing, where I try to get more people to like my page. So it does take time to find out what ads are going to work and what's not. So if you are going to start getting into ads, that is where you have to be really, really patient. It takes a lot of hard work. You have to figure out your targets, who you're going to target, because you got to get very specific on who you're going to target. You may have to spend some money. As far as getting spending money on ads for like page, I only spent like maybe $3 a day, so it's not a huge amount of money. But when you're talking about, you know, finding your business partners or a challenge group, you probably going to have to spend a little bit more money, especially on the amount of people you want to reach. Because you'll see that every post that you make on your like page, it will show how many people you're reaching. Well, it's the same with your ads. It's going to show how many people you're reaching. So you really have to get your target right. And again, it could take 50, 60, 70 times different target markets before you're going to find exactly what works and what doesn't work. And that's when you're going to spend money, is trying to figure that out. So if you decide you're going to start doing ads, I would definitely take a training in learning how to do ads, because that's just a whole different ballpark. And you know, and I used to boost posts before I took this training. And it's not really recommended to boost a post. You're not going to get like the traction you are when you actually are doing an ad in the Power Word, Power Editor. So again, my recommendation, if you're going to do ads, please take a training before you start, because you'll just spend a lot of money and a lot of it may get wasted. And I know that's what I did at first. I spent a ton of money before, and I was just like, oh, moms, entrepreneurs, this, that. It was too broad and I wasn't getting the traction, and I really wasn't finding my lifers either, because you know, I was spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, and I wasn't even making half of it. So I recommend, please, if you're going to do ads, do some sort of like training. Again, I did Jesse Regan's training. You do spend money. You spend about $300 or so, but all in all, I think it's worth it. I've learned a ton, from him and from, the modules that you do. And so, if you're going to do anything, definitely look that up, do some research on yourself and before you start doing ads. I think that's it. Anybody else have any questions that they want to throw at me?
Yeah, you guys can unmute yourselves to ask a question. Thank you.
Kathy, I should have the link. He does it only so often of when you can sign up. There's like a short window that you can actually sign up for his stuff. I have to find out when his next live one is.
He has a like page, so you can just go and like his page and then
yeah. Yeah, it's Jesse Regan, Regan.
Becky's asking if you plan your post ahead of time.
Honestly, I don't. I know that I'm going to do my workout video, of course. Like, that's usually one of my first posts. Or sometimes in the morning, I know that I'm going to, do a quote of some sort and talk about it. But other than that, I am kind of like the fly of the seat of my pants. Now, some people actually will plan their post and they'll schedule it. Because you can schedule your post on when you want it to show. So some people, really use that tool. I just find I try to just go with the moment right there, what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling at that very moment, because I want to be real and raw. So I just go with it right there and then. I mean, sometimes, like, if I'm going to do a live video, and I should brought that up too. If you're going to do a live video, obviously you probably want to think about what you're going to talk about. I mean, sometimes I'm like, and something emotional happens to me and I'll get right on and do a live video. So, those type of things, you may want to think about what you're going to say first. And also when you do a live video, it can be scary because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 4 viewers right now. What's going on? But I'll just keep on talking and I'll just keep on doing, because obviously after you do a live video, it's up on your news feed anyways, and people will see it. And I feel like there's certain times of the day that the live video is a little more active for viewers than just, doing a video that you recorded. So, but I just keep on going because I need to get the practice of being live and feeling comfortable and talking to people. So yeah, I don't always schedule my posts once in a great while, but some people do. So it might be a good tool too to schedule that.
Jacqueline's asking if we should have links on our like page to our Beachbody website.
I do. I also actually, on my personal page, I have a link. Like, so if you click on, I think it says Cheryl L. O'Malley, if you click on it, it will bring you right to my like page. So then from on my like page, I do have, I have my email address, and then I also have my Beachbody address. And once I get my own web up and have my own URL, I'll put that down too. So, so yes, definitely you can put email. Some people put their phone number down. I mean, I don't put my phone number down, but people put the email in your Beachbody email as well.
My like page has like direct links to sign up for free membership, sign up to be a coach, sign up to order. And I've had a like page for 4 years and nobody has ever.
No, yeah.
So it's not like, it's Jacqueline, the same thing happens with your like page and your personal page. You've got to build a relationship. People aren't just going to go to your site and click on your Beachbody website and place an order. It's just not how our business works. Maybe if we were more of a storefront type MLM, like with face cream or things like that people know about, but they're not going to just go and click and buy the 21-day fix from you. That it just, so don't stress about trying to figure out how to put it and where to put it, because nobody's going to buy. And then the other thing that Cheryl brought up, so on your personal page, your about section should definitely say something like CEO or founder at Nicole L. Jones, and then you might have to Google how to do it, but that will click right to your like page. So a lot of talk happens in the 5-star wall. A lot of top coaches used to put like, 15-star diamond, 10 times elite, blah, 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 blah. But nobody understands what that is. So just like
Right.
Cheryl was saying, she doesn't talk Beachbody language on her like page because that doesn't make, even in any page, you don't want to talk Beachbody language because people don't know what challenge groups are. People don't know what challenge packs are. People don't care that you're a 1-star diamond, a 10-star diamond, a 15-star diamond. Like, it doesn't matter to the outside world. They don't understand it. So your best bet once you get a like page up and running is your about section on your personal page, directing them to your like page. And, I wouldn't put, 5-star diamond coach and then your like page. Like, just put CEO, founder, something like that, because people don't join people because of their stars for it. So that's my 2 cents there.
I agree.
And one of the things, Cheryl talked off on this briefly, but I think it's a very important piece when you're just getting your like page up and running. And like she said, only do this like once a day. She only does this for her videos. I'm not saying do it anymore, but it's very important for you to share whatever your like page post is to your personal page, so that the more you do that, the more people will go over to your like page.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't always want your friends list all liking your like page necessarily. So there's going to be people on your friends list that don't want anything to do with your Beachbody business right now, so they're not going to like so it doesn't really make much sense for you to like invite your whole friends list to like your page. I mean, you can. One thing too is we never want to like each other's pages. Like, don't like my page, don't like Cheryl's page, don't like each other's like pages, because then our friends list will see their like pages. So you don't want to like other Beachbody's things. And then the other thing that'll happen is they'll run the people who do have the money, like me, we can run Facebook ads and target friends of friends who like the page, who like my page. So I could literally be, if you like my page right now, you should probably go on like it, because I don't think Mark does this, but I could potentially be targeting your friends. I could be targeting friends of people who like my page. So don't. I know if some people put in the Facebook group, come and like my page, give me some support. Don't do that. We don't want to do that because it's not good for business. So don't like each other's like pages. You can.
I've liked a couple of like top coaches in the beginning, especially just to see what was working for them. So I followed them just to see how it was, and then I kind of pretty much unliked them when I started figuring it out myself. So I mean, for me, I followed people like Nicole for some time, just like, okay, this is what is working for them, and I'd kind of compare. I would never copy what they did, but I would just say, okay, well, it looks like this is working for them. They've got, 15,000 people that like them. They're doing something right. So let me just kind of get ideas of what they're doing, how much, how many times they're posting a day. So for me, I did do that at first. I followed quite a few people so I could figure it out. And then I kind of started unliking them just because I was like, okay, well, I think I got it now.
Yeah, my biggest caution for you guys is the people who have the money to spend are going to target friends of friends who like my page. So your friends will be targeted by top Beachbody coaches. So I wouldn't do it. You can click follow and like follow along. But yeah, just be careful with that. Do you combine 2 different interests in targeting? Susan, we can't go into targeting. It's a whole, you have to learn yourself on that. We can't answer that question. Targeting is a science, and it takes a ton of time, a ton of practice, a ton of tweaking. and what I target isn't going to be what you should target. What Cheryl targets but you should don't target anything Beachbody related. You want to target like random, like Mark, let me give you an idea of what to target. Mark will be in a mood and he'll be like, okay, I got to get something going and I got to target stuff. And he's a night owl and I'm in the morning. So sometimes at night he'll start yelling to me when I'm half asleep, but he'll be like, what did you Google today? So he'll just randomly quiz me on what magazines do you like? What did you Google today? What TV shows are you watching right now? What are those pants that everybody's buying that are soft leggings? Like he'll just ask me random pop culture type questions, and that's what he targets. So he targets things that I like in the real world. Becky says, how do you decide what to post to your personal page versus your like page?
I mean, personal page, I kind of find a balance of both. Like I post a ton of pictures of my kids on my personal page for sure. But I do bring them over to my like page. So it's really a fine balance. I'm talking more about being a mom on my like page because that's who I'm targeting. So on my personal page, it's random posts of my kids, doing funny things. I'm going dancing. It's more just about my life personally, but like when I do my like page, I'm really talking about being a mom, about working out, about eating, about struggling, about my journey. So I do that some, obviously, on my personal page, but I really focus on that on my like page, about the journey itself, about struggling. But I also, try to be funny because that's who I am. I want people to get to know the real me. So I feel like I'm a little more of me on my like page than I am on my personal page. It's so weird, but you know what? Some people do the exact same thing on both pages because they just share it on their personal page and they're going to just share it on their like page. Like I said, I don't recommend always like posting the exact same things on your personal page and your like page. Sometimes I don't even recommend always posting at the same time on both pages. I like to spread it out sometimes. You just have to find a balance and just find what you are comfortable with. Some of these top coaches now focus just on their like page. They don't even really use their personal page anymore. I don't recommend that. I feel like we still should post on our personal page because that's where our warm market is. But you just have to find that balance.
Yeah, and for me, I'm opposite than Cheryl. I feel more me in my personal page. And I was talking to Mark about that the other day. I'm like, for some reason, my like page is more salesy for me. And one of the reasons, not disgustingly salesy, but I can be more salesy in my like page than I can in my personal page. And one of the reasons for that is that's what Facebook allows. So if you start being I cringe every time I see, and I try to announce this as often as I can on the pages, don't make those posts on your personal page that say things like, I'm looking for 20 people that want to join my next challenge group, and you do a whole 21-day fix pitch. Facebook could literally shut your personal page down if you continue to do that. So make sure those types of posts are on your like page. And I know a lot of people aren't seeing them yet, so you have to be patient with them. But in your personal page, if you're trying to get people to join your challenge group, you have to be real. You have to be you. You have to just, all you want to talk about is how it makes you feel and how great it is. But you can go over to your like page and you can get salesy. You can say, I'm looking for, the people on my like page, literally, they don't, they're like, what do you have for me and how do I get it? They don't, and then as soon as I start asking them a question like, oh, tell me your goals, and I try to form with them, they don't answer me. So I can't form with people on my like page because they're just there for business. They're like, how do I join your next challenge group? What is it? Tell me how much it is. All they want to know is tell me how much it is. And so I tell them, hey, Gwen, zip it. So I I just tell them. And my personal page is where I can talk to people about their goals, and those are my warm market. But the people on my like page, they're just like, how do I do what you do? How do I get what you have? How do I get in your challenge group, and tell me how much it costs? So, you just have to, you just kind of have to play around with both. So yeah, you've got to, your personal page should literally be what Facebook intended you to be. I know we want to run our businesses on our personal page, but we technically shouldn't. I mean, we can't, I built it 4 years on my personal page, and it'll still work, but you can't be salesy. You can't be open for business on your personal page. You just have to share how Shakeology makes you feel. You can create events. They gave us those events for us to do it that way. But that's why I wanted Cheryl to do this like page training for you guys, because it is okay to get a like page up and running now so that you can be a little more of a storefront or a salesy type person over there. But again, this is still a relationship building piece. I have people on my like page that don't join me right away. They wait a while. Some of them will friend me on my personal page so they can get to know me over there, and then they'll join me because they're like, oh, I like her. So it's just, it's to each his own. It's going to take you guys, it's getting to be 10 o'clock, so it's going to take you guys some time. It's going to take you patience. It's going to take you, finding some trainings. There's tons of free trainings out there. Amy Porterfield runs free webinars all the time. At the end of her free webinar, she's going to try to sell you something, so just know that going into it. But she still gives you a ton of free content up front. So we have trained with Chalene Johnson and Amy Porterfield, our main two people that we have followed for all of our social media training. But Mark will ultimately sometimes just go to Google or YouTube, and he'll just sit down for a focused hour, a full focused hour, and he will just study how other people run ads. So Cheryl mentioned that a lot of these social media experts will tell you not to boost posts. Chalene told us not to boost posts. Amy Porterfield told us not to boost posts, that you should literally only run ads. Boosting posts works amazing for us. We only boost posts. We have a couple ads running, but we only boost posts, and that's how I hit Success Club 30 or more every month. So, when we were in Shalene's mentorship, she's like, I don't know how that's working for you guys. It's not the norm. Our financial advisor is like, why are you doing that? I'm like, it's working. So you have to just do what works, even if it's against the norm. But yeah, and I do recommend, if you want to start playing around with ads, do a like page ad. Mark has created a document in the Team Passion Training, teampassiontraining.com website. Under files, there is a how to create a like page ad. Mark mapped it out. He did screenshots and everything. So do that for $5 a day. Just make sure you get your targets right, because some people do that for $5 a day, and they're like, Nicole, it just cost me $25 for one like. Like, okay, something's off. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure you can tweak your targets there. But that's a good way. $5 a day, get some likes going. You definitely want to work your like page up to at least 500 likes before you start playing around with other ads, because if an ad comes across my news feed and then I go and look at the person's like page and they only have 200 likes, I move on. So you've got to make sure, it doesn't really matter how many likes, but it should be over 500. It used to be like, go for likes, go for likes, go for likes. It's not like that anymore. It's quality over quantity for sure. So just make sure you're getting your targets right on your like page ads. And like I said, Mark has outlined that for you guys in a file in teampassiontraining.com. Cool. All right. Thank you, Cheryl, so much for your expertise. And we all look forward to tomorrow's episode of the O'Malley Show. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.